You are now tuned in to the Candidly Crawford radio show here on WDRB Media, the voice of the community. I'm your host, Teresa.
And it's your boy, Nick.
And we are Candidly Crawford, all about God, marriage, life, and everything in between. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. And also welcome to our return listeners as well. We are excited to have you to tune in on tonight's show. So we actually have a great topic to talk about tonight. But before we jump into that, let's check out to see how Nick... Oh, I can't even say your name, Jesus. Nick.
Yes, that's my name.
Nick. Y'all, it's been a long week, y'all. It's been a long week already. Nick, how's your week been?
My week it's been good. It's been enjoyable. I've been keeping up with Carolina's free agency for the NFL. It's a new year. We're adding new players to our team. So 2025, we're going to be back at the Super Bowl. I name it and claim it.
All right. Your faith must be very, very strong, buddy.
It's strong as an ox.
All right. What else?
And actually, spring has sprung. So the allergies are like, hey, I'm back.
Yeah, I already feel mine. I was stopped up so bad yesterday.
Yeah.
Like one side of my nose. It was bad.
And lastly, I sort of bought a grill.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so if you've listened to the past few radio shows, you would probably know that Nick has a smoker.
Yes.
And he loves to try different recipes, smoking all kinds of meats. And I'm going to tell you, y'all, it's real good. I'm not going to lie. The smoked jerk chicken wings, turkey breast. Oh, that chuck roast. My dad, he's addicted. He'd be like, Nick, put the roast on. And my dad lives 2.5 hours away. So trust me, if he's willing to drive for Nick's smoked chuck roast, then you know it has to be something good.
It's all right. I don't like to pat myself on the back, but I allow you to.
All right, little humble.
Yeah.
Okay. Humble.
So,
but that's good.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that, and I'll be doing a few videos this summer out there on the grill, so check me out. My personal pages are Nick Too Funny, that's NICK, the number 2, FUNNY, on all social media platforms. Yeah, I'll be out there in my grilling sandals and my tube socks.
All right, I don't know if I'm going to be with you with the tube socks. I'm not letting you go outside embarrassing me.
Hey, I'll be back there in my element.
Well, y'all, here y'all have it, y'all. Nick has a smoker and now he's added a charcoal grill.
Yes.
So, yes, it's a lot of good eating going on over here. We already eat good. Everybody wants to come over anyway.
Yes.
But
we're going to try to do eating better on the grill.
We are. Actually, we've been doing a pretty good job. Now, these last few days,
a little rough.
It's been a little rough because we've been quite busy with work, and yeah, it's just been a lot going on. But
we doing
better. All right for the most part. I'm saying we're proud of we should be proud of ourselves.
We are. So, Teresa, how has your week been?
My week was great. It started off great. I had brunch with my sister and my friend Carmen. She is the host of Mustard Seed Radio 704, hosted by Brown Carmen. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure you check out her show, guys.
Check it out.
She has a lot of great content on there. She just did a 2-part series on surrogacy. She had an in-studio guest, and y'all, I'm telling you, you definitely have to join or tune in for that. And actually, if you go to her YouTube page, you'll be able to find the past shows that she's already done, and also ours as well. So actually, aside from that, the brunch with the girls this weekend, it was really great. It was just a great time to just fellowship, and eat some good food.
Okay, I saw you took a few pictures while you was out there.
I did a little something. Y'all can follow me on my personal Instagram. Now, of course, make sure you're following all social media for Candidly Crawford is at Candidly Crawford on all social media platforms. That's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. But since you gave your personal Instagram and social media handles, I give mine as well. Wait a minute, you a little too eager for that.
let the people see how you be looking out here in these streets.
I mean, I look all right.
You look better than all right, girl.
Okay, go to Instagram. Thank you, baby. Only you can say that. Go to Instagram. It's at theezy.c. It's TheeZ as in zebra, Y.C as in Crawford.
Yes.
So make sure you check me out. I'm also on Facebook as well. TikTok.
All of them.
I had to think about it. I was like, where am I? Everywhere. Instagram, all that good stuff. So I had a great weekend. Looking forward to this weekend.
Okay.
A lot of great stuff going on. We're doing a couple of birthday celebrations, all that good stuff. So, and we're going to have our 6-month-old goddaughter.
Yes, she'll be over.
Oh, she's turning 7 months this weekend.
Hey, she's going to be over here tearing up the house, making noise and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. So tonight's sponsor for the Candidly Crawford radio show is the Candidly Crawford podcast. Yes, guys, we are more than a radio show. For content beyond our radio show, head to YouTube to search for Candidly Crawford. I almost forgot my train of thought there. Head to our YouTube channel, Candidly Crawford, for our podcast episodes, or check out your favorite podcast platform wherever you listen to podcasts and type in Candidly Crawford. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and share.
Yes.
So, Nick, what topic are we getting into tonight? To me, I'm actually pretty excited about this because we get asked about this all the time.
So we'll be talking about difficult conversations and how we handle disagreements. So, that's one of the questions we are asked the most. How do we have these difficult conversations? And we'll be talking about the types of difficult conversations that we've already had in less than 2 years.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys stay tuned in. After all, this is a radio show, so we're going to play you a great song just to get your listening ears ready. Coming back in a few moments. Stay tuned to the Candidly Crawford radio show.
We are Candidly Crawford Radio. All about God, marriage, life, and everything in between.
Tune in every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern as we candidly share our thoughts and experiences on life and relationships with a few laughs too. Interested in growing your business by advertising on our radio show? Need a dynamic duo or host to speak at your event? Connect with us. Email us at candidlycrawford@gmail.com or at Candidly Crawford on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. And welcome back to the Candidly Crawford radio show. I am Teresa.
And it's your boy Nick. And we are Candidly Crawford.
I almost got to tune in with you on that one, bud.
Come on.
Thank you guys for tuning in here on WDRB Media, the voice of the community. If you are just now joining us, you are in for a treat. We are actually getting ready to dive into our topic of tonight, which is handling difficult conversations and also how to handle disagreements. Now, Nick and I, the Crawfords, as you can already tell, we actually are still newlyweds. Coming up in May, we've been married. It will be 2 years.
Yes.
But prior to that, I can say that we've always had a great pattern of communication when it came to even the difficult conversations prior to us getting married, and we're still learning as we go as we get married. So one of the questions we get on our Facebook lives, yes, we do go live on Facebook.
Yeah.
So make sure you are connected with us there. But one of the questions we often get, we've received multiple times, is how do we handle difficult conversations, and also how do we handle disagreements? So me and Nick, we don't argue, we have disagreements. So we're going to dive into that, but we're going to talk about difficult conversations first.
Yeah, so one question, like Teresa said, we get all the time is how do you handle those or have those difficult conversations? And I had to go back and process that question because, we do have disagreements, but we also have difficult conversations. And one of the first difficult conversations that we had, and Teresa, chime in if I'm wrong, but we had it about money and finances.
Yeah, we did. Prior to us getting married, yeah.
And that was a difficult conversation for me because this is the first time that I've ever let anybody into my financial situation. Anybody I'm dating, they didn't have access to my accounts or anything like that. And so, we date. I'm going to pay for this. You're going to pay for that. You don't know what I got in my account.
Right.
And I was cool with that.
Right.
But now that we were merging into one, I felt like it was necessary for us to have those difficult conversations about finances and to let that piece of my life open, or leave it open for you to explore. So it was very difficult for me because, that's the first time I've ever had that conversation.
Yeah, and I mean, I felt it was an important one because it's something that, as you said earlier, that we are merging to be one. So that means all aspects, from the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's just like, here I am, don't want any surprises
Right.
going into the marriage. But one of those conversations was, about finances. So just tell me, why was that difficult for you?
Well, question. Have you ever gave your credit score to somebody that you just randomly met?
Not somebody I randomly met now.
But they had to have a good relationship. So, far as like your bankers or anybody that you're about to go to a deep relationship with.
Yes, but not no random person.
Right. And so I wasn't out there just giving my information away.
But we were engaged, sir. I'm just saying, why was it difficult for you?
It was difficult because just like giving my heart away, like you had that information, you can do what you want. You could have had my information being like, man, I don't like what I'm seeing, so I'm gonna go left.
No.
But
I get what you're saying.
Yes.
I get it. I mean, of course, I can see it from your standpoint, but I'm gonna tell you the standpoint I was coming from.
Okay.
Was that, hey, we need to come together to see what works well for us and what will work well for us going forward, us, merging our lives into one. So it's kind of like, hey, let's determine who's the spender in the relationship, who's the best with the money in the relationship, who's, better with saving, like what works well for us. Are we both savers? Are we both spenders? Like let's put it out there now,
right,
before we embark on this lifelong journey. And then, we get into something and you just like, this ain't what I signed up for, but...
And one of the main reasons for divorce is finances.
Yeah, I could definitely say that. And I'm glad that we were candid, hence Candidly Crawford.
Right.
I'm glad we were able to be vulnerable and open with each other about it. It was no judgment. It wasn't to shame anyone or nothing like that. It was just a difficult conversation to have. For me, like I said, it's just not trying to figure out what society says we should do or anyone else, from their advice, but just figuring out what works well for the Crawfords. So I'm glad we had that conversation. And actually, it wasn't as bad as you think, was it?
No, it wasn't. At first, I remember us having that conversation and you were asking me why I was so quiet. And I'm like, I'm trying to process it. I'm trying to go into this conversation with ease and stuff like that. But it wasn't as bad as I thought. And it gave leadway to us having other difficult conversations.
Right. And so I would say, always create a safe space for each other when it comes time to have a difficult conversation. No judgment, watch your tone.
Yes.
Be respectful of, your partner's opinions, their views on certain things. You can disagree on it, but don't argue them down about it like, no, this is the way I've been doing it. My mama taught me this way or anything like that.
And speaking of mama, like we had to have another difficult conversation about our parents.
That's true.
What we're going to do with our parents. Our parents are getting older in age, not in spirit,
Right.
And so what are we going to do if the time comes and they have to live with us? Or do they have their affairs in order? And that's a difficult conversation, not for only us, but for our parents, for us to have with our parents.
Yeah, because, you never want to imagine, your parents not being here with you. And unfortunately, we know that your dad is already, sitting with the Heavenly Father since you were 4 years old. So, that is always, to me, will always kind of be, I won't say it's a difficult conversation, but it's just always something that's on my mind and on my heart, when it comes to talking about your parents. Because, I never want to act like even though your dad is not here on earth, your dad is still a part of you.
Yeah.
So, thinking about that, thinking about your mom, thinking about my parents, like having that talk hey, if this time ever comes, what are your final wishes? Yes. And the same thing for us, when it came to life insurance. It's like, hey, we don't want to talk about this, but this conversation has to happen.
That has to happen.
Yes, it has to happen. It's necessary.
Because heaven forbid, if I wasn't here, you're going to be straight. And I feel like I'm going to be straight.
And vice versa, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but we had to have those conversations.
Yeah.
Even about children, how many children we want.
Raising children, how, what's your method of raising, and we'll be first time parents.
Yes.
When baby Crawford comes. And
how do you want to raise your children?
Right.
Because, that's a big argument if you don't talk about it.
Right. So I suggest, those difficult conversations, just find a safe space, for you both to be in. Like Nick and I, sometimes we'll get out the house, we'll go to a coffee shop, and we'll sit. Because, I know you're not going to embarrass each other in public.
No, we ain't. No, we're not.
But I'm just saying, sometimes it is nice to get out of the environment. And that also leads into having a disagreement.
Yes.
Just know you can always agree to disagree. Make sure that when you do have a disagreement, make sure that you're still being respectful.
Right.
And if you ever feel that you can't be respectful, Nick can tell you sometimes I'm hot-tempered. The Lord bless him to be so even-keeled and so calm. And if I feel I'm getting to the point that I feel I may disrespect him, I would just tell him like, hey, babe, give me a minute.
Right.
Can we pick this up, a little bit later? Because, I definitely don't want my emotions to get the best of me. And it's not just about that. It's more staying in line with the word of God about self-control.
Right. And I know I don't get mad often, but if I get mad, it's for a good reason, and I'm up there. One thing that works for me is I like to take a walk.
Right.
Me and my dog Snacks will go take a walk. I'll have a conversation with him, and he doesn't judge me. He's just like, take me around this neighborhood, oh good dad, and let me smell all the trees and stuff like that. And I know I can do that and come back home and mellow out, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be disrespectful to you ever. And when words are put into the universe, you can't take them back. You can apologize for them, but you can't.
You can take away the hurt or the damage is already caused.
Right. And so that's not something I want to do deliberately.
Right. And I always remember that you're on the same team.
Yes.
I'm not your opposition.
We want to see each other win.
Exactly. Just always remember you're on the same team. No matter how difficult the conversation may get, no matter how upset you are, just always remember you guys are on the same team. So, make sure that you don't be disrespectful. And if you feel you're being disrespectful, find your way of coping with, walking away, calming down, or even just pausing and be like, hey, can we pick this up tomorrow? Because, at the end of the day, you still love each other.
Right.
There's no love lost. It's just, sometimes you have to agree to disagree, or you could just come together to reach an agreement.
Right. And I know when we go to bed, and even if we've had a difficult conversation or a disagreement, I still feel the love in the house, in the room. And, we'll give each other a kiss. I love you. Good night. And Teresa, she'll put her little cold nuggets under my leg.
Yes, my cold feet goes under your legs every night.
That reminds me that I'm loved.
My cold feet reminds you you're loved.
It's the smallest thing. Like, okay. But we go to bed understanding that even though we had this disagreement, this difficult conversation, there's still love in the room.
Exactly. And also implement the 7-second rule. That's what we learned in our marriage ministry, meetings that we have at our church. We've learned the 7-second rule. You hug your mate for 7 seconds and it releases all kinds of feel-good endorphins and all that good stuff. And actually, we do it quite often, and it actually works. So try the 7-second rule. Stand up and embrace each other in a hug, and you'll see why that 7-second rule is in place. We go longer than 7 seconds, but
Yes. But I think that's a good, bit of nuggets that we can give our people on having difficult conversations.
Definitely. So guys, we wish we could carry this on more, but of course this is a radio show. We are at the end of our time, but definitely join us on Facebook, because we do go Facebook Live. So make sure you're following Candidly Crawford on all social media platforms, including our YouTube channel as well.
So when we come back, we have a candid tip of the week.
We do. It's going to be short and sweet because we're kind of running out of time here. But
yeah, but stay tuned, stay locked in, and we'll be back after this short song.
Yes. No, it's a commercial, not a song.
Song commercial.
It's not the same thing. All right, we'll be back, guys.
We are Candidly Crawford Radio. All about God, marriage, life, and everything in between.
Tune in every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern as we candidly share our thoughts and experiences on life and relationships with a few laughs too. Interested in growing your business by advertising on our radio show? Need a dynamic duo or host to speak at your event? Connect with us. Email us at candidlycrawford@gmail.com or at Candidly Crawford on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. And welcome back to the Candidly Crawford Radio Show here on WDRB Media, the voice of the community, and those tuning in from the free TuneIn app, Streama, Apple Music, and more. Welcome back to the Candidly Crawford Radio Show. I'm your host, Teresa.
And it's your boy, Nick.
And we are Candidly Crawford. Well, guys, if you are just now tuning in, you missed a great conversation. It will be posted later on the Candidly Crawford YouTube channel. So just make sure you are subscribed so you can receive those alerts when we do upload all of our radio episodes, and also view our previous podcast episodes as well there on the YouTube channel. So just go to YouTube, type in Candidly Crawford, and you'll be, click subscribe for one, and then you'll be alerted. So we're coming to the end of our segment where we do what we call a candid tip of the week. So Nick is here with our candid tip of the week, just to kind of tie into our previous discussion about how to handle difficult conversations and disagreements. So Nick, take it away.
Yes, so we're going to go to the good book, the Bible, and we're going to go to the book of Ephesians 4:29, and we're going to read verses 29 and verse 32. And it reads, do not use foul or abusive language. Let everything you say be good and helpful, so that your words will be an encouragement to those who hear them. And we're going to go to verse 32, which reads, instead, be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God through Christ has forgiven you. So I thought that would tie in with our conversation today. Even having disagreements, like don't use foul and abusive words on each other when having these disagreements, these difficult conversations. Be kind. Try to be kind to each other in those conversations. Understand that you love each other, just as God loves you, and he has those difficult conversations with you. Try to have those difficult conversations with your mate or your family in grace.
Exactly. And always remember that you guys are always on the same team. As Nick said, remember the love that you do have for each other. So those are actually great verses. Again, it's Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 and 32. So thank you, Nick.
No problem.
Well, guys, it comes the end of our show. We love you guys. Make sure you tune in every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the Candidly Crawford Radio Show. Also, catch up on our previous episodes and podcast episodes on the Candidly Crawford YouTube channel. So remember our mantra, we are blessed to be a blessing. Good night, guys.
Peace, fam.